Welcome to the Lafaya Way Podcast, the podcast for people who refuse to fold in the face of adversity. Whether you're navigating personal challenges or professional obstacles, this show is a reminder that you have the power to play to win. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Lafaya Way Podcast. I'm really excited about today's show. I've been chomping at the bit to interview my husband here. Yes, he's my husband. Because our story and what he's living right now is like insane. Like he's like a saint right now. We are raising, my biologically, related 3 little nieces. He's uncle, but he's had to take on some serious stuff dealing with me. Okay, so he's like 6 kids deep, not having had any of his own biological children, which is insane. 3 I kind of came along with, or they kind of came along with me, and then 3 were just like, kind of,
they were just blessed.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we were we were blessed with 3 additions 4 years ago. So that they're now our adopted children. So, he has children by, oh my goodness, I guess association and then adoption. Gracious. Anyway, I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about how, we kind of managed our situation. And I really want to hear his perspective through the questions that I'll ask, because it'll be kind of new to me too, because I don't think I asked him these questions I'm going to ask today. So we'll just jump right into it, guys. Please, if you have questions or anything, please leave them in comments or leave your comments. Whatever. You're more than welcome to kind of let us hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, so Haney.
Yes, ma'am.
The first primary question that I ask in each of my episodes is, tell everybody about playing the hand you're dealt moment.
First off, hello everybody. How are you? I know we're an odd looking couple, but it's life, right? That's how it works. Playing my hand I'm dealt moments. Wow. Okay. Well, as most of you out there probably start your day, maybe have breakfast, look over some charts, really fine tune what your plan is, what you're going to work on in a poker tournament. That's not our life at all. At all. As Lafaya said, these 3 little beautiful girls that we have are now 8, 7, and 5, and we've had them since they were 5, 4, and 1. And they're a challenge. They're quite a challenge. And I will be the first to admit that she takes care of 99.5% of the kids in the morning, getting them up, making sure they eat, getting them dressed, making their hair beautiful, all these wonderful things that my wife does. And I appreciate very much. Whereas I focus on kind of staying out of the way and making sure we're ready. Once they're off to school and they're situated, our tournament starts at 10 a.m. We have about an hour, a little over an hour. We have no time for charts, no time for reading material. But what we do have time for is nourishment. That's where I like to step in and really help out. So I focus on healthy breakfast. Generally, I'll do something like some veggies mixed in some eggs with some wonderful flavors and seasonings that just light up the house, making sure that we get ourselves as physically possible to be as ready as we can for the tournament that day. So that's step one. Kind of just gets chaotic if I get involved. So it works out better for us in our household to just handles them. They stay regulated that way. I take care of us and get us ready to go. So we have a very limited time to get to our tournament.
Okay, guys. So some of this, like, you need a little insider information on. Okay. So of course, I'm Black, and we have 3 little Black girls, and he can't do their hair. So, and he is not a morning person, right? So talk about playing the hand that you're dealt. One of the adjustments we had to make, because at first I thought, oh my goodness, okay, there's 3 of them, there's 2 of us, at least the odds are get a little more equal, and we're both up and like getting them ready and doing everything that needs to happen. But what ended up happening was his cranky self in the morning is way too cranky for my taste, and he just like I wanted to write a story called Grumpy Bear. Seriously, because he was like a grumpy bear in the morning.
Oh, I just need my coffee first. That's all.
Um,
I just need to make my coffee, get a couple cups in me, then I'm much better.
yeah, he's still
Initially wake
cranky.
up and
He's still a little cranky after coffee, but whatever. Um, anyway, playing the hand that I was dealt, I figured out that we'd be much better served with him doing other things other than care for the children, especially in the morning. So that's where we kind of got to a place to where it was like, because he wants to be helpful. So he's like, okay, well, what can I do then? What do, and I'm like, okay, well, and no, he thought of it. He said, should I just like make us breakfast since we need to eat before we leave? Because we're like, always, each morning we're rushing around to get them, off.
on a personal note, I'm like a fixer. Like I want to fix things, I want to help things, and sometimes I can get in the way and trying to be so helpful. So we've realized that it's better for me to just step back in that role, let you do the children, keeps them nice and calm, and then I handle us and our food and our break.
So, and especially, okay, so couples out there, right? When you're working on playing the hand that you're dealt, or when you start to kind of think in this way, how do I turn these lemons into lemonade? Like, how do I take a situation where, say, guys, in poker, we say, I'm dealt the deuce seven.
Mm.
Deuce seven is supposed to be the worst hand in poker, right? I don't even know. I don't fully know if I'm in agreement with that, but okay, it's the worst hand in poker statistically, right?
Starting.
Worst start. Thank you. Worst start because after the flop, right? Yeah, right. Worst starting hand. And so when you think about, our situation, we had new kids, we had adult children before then.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any issue with getting anybody ready. They were driving themselves to school,
we
right?
were almost done. So
We were
we thought
free.
smooth sailing.
But so to have the introduction of the little children, we got them when they were 1, 3, and 4, guys. Right now they're what,
Eight,
5,
7.
yeah, 8, 7, and 5, and so there's still a lot required, right, from us in the morning. But instead of continuing to like expect that he should be present and present with the children and me and helping and doing all of that was just dumb on my
It
part.
didn't work for us.
No, it honestly, it just created a situation where I was feeling resentful because I was like, I need you to be a different kind of help than this because you're stressing me out, right? And and so and so once we figured out, hey, that doesn't work. So get rid of that, like that dream, that ideal, or that thing that I had in my head, and let's create a better situation, right?
And how does that happen? We communicate very well. Always
Yes.
have. We've been together almost 20 years at this point, married almost 9 right now. And we still act, I feel, the same way we did when we met. So
It's
it
true.
starts with a strong, healthy relationship
Yes, yes, yes.
for a poker couple. Yeah.
And for any couple,
True.
but especially for a poker couple, if you don't figure out how to play the hand, like use some of that poker knowledge, play the hand you're dealt in your home, right? The same way if you're dealt that same 3-6 or whatever stupid. Actually, that hand's not that bad, but you're dealt the same, or you feel like you're dealt a series of bad poor hands over and over again, right? Eventually, you have to play the game, right? Or you're going to lose, right? So with me, I really want to teach people how to really grab from that concept and make the best with what they have instead of trying to instead of being upset about what they have and saying it's not good enough, or I'm going to be upset about this thing that I have or this thing that I keep saying. Instead of doing that, now you're shifting your focus into how do I play this hand that I'm dealt? Because clearly it's not going to change, or it's not going to change anytime soon. And if it does, yay.
Right.
But most of the time it's not. So how do I play it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was good. That was good. Thank you. It's awesome. Okay. Now the second question that I typically ask is tell everybody about a tilt tip that you have. And guys, if you haven't been watching, tilt. I have an acronym for tilt. Now, okay, so tilt in poker is when a person just kind of loses their mind for a brief moment, and logic kind of goes out of the window and they start to react emotionally. And what that leads to typically is them losing all their chips, eventually maybe going broke, busting out, right? And so in life, we also go on tilt. We have those moments where we kind of lose our stuff, we get emotional, and we kind of do things that cause us some loss. Sometimes small loss, sometimes great loss, right? And so the goal of the show is to get to a place where you do not allow those moments, those emotional moments, to cause you much loss. And our goal is to limit any loss if possible, but at least reduce the amount of loss, if not right, if not anything else. So tell about, and this is up to you how you want to do it. It could be about poker or about life. Okay. Tell about a tilt tip that you have to give to share with our audience out there.
Tilt tip. Well, I would just say generally in poker, you see things, especially at low stakes tournaments, see things that just don't make sense, where people will just play crazy. They may just be there strictly for fun. They're just having a good time, and while you're trying to play serious and try to play every hand the best you can, at times they really can get to you. It may just be, how did you call with that hand? They may not even know they had 2 outs, 3 outs, whatever the case may be, and you just lose multiple times in a row. So for me, when those moments happen, because I'm thinking in the logical brain, it makes no sense and it's frustrating. What can I do now? What's done is done, right? What do I do? I focus, and this I've learned has worked really well for me. Deep breaths every single time I'm being dealt cards. It helps center me. It helps get any negative thoughts I have going on out in a way. And I literally will take breaths so deep sometimes. People, I know they can hear me because I always have headphones on. And I'm sitting there listening to music, whatever I'm listening to. And I'm just, so what I'm trying to do in that moment is let go of what just happened. Let go of the stupid play, the doesn't make sense, the whatever's going on, my chip stack dwindling, whatever the situation is, and just say, what can I do now, right in this moment, to better my situation? Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes that's the best answer too. You just gotta just wait. You can sometimes feel just your tightness, like you feel it inside your chest. And I've learned that I can minimize that greatly just by breathing. Whether I'm doing well, poor, average, doesn't matter. It's just a tip that I've given myself that I've learned from my wonderful wife here through all the years of professional training she has, that breathing it out, just trying to literally let it go. And I have many fewer. It's real rare that I ever feel it in the chest anymore. It used to be quite common for me while I'm playing poker. And before I breathe it out, I would sometimes get stuck in a loop about why this player, what are they, blah, 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 whatever it is, doesn't matter. Now it's much easier to just let it go.
Okay, so what you're saying, I'm just gonna give a quick recap. Okay, is that one of your tips for preventing or reducing the effects of tilt is to take a deep breath. And okay, so guys, there's a little bit of biology to this too, right? Because when we get upset, we tend to hold either shallow breathe, which actually
not breathe,
right, or hold our breath, which is actually honestly like a tendency of for us Americans anyway. I don't know about the rest of the race, but people out there, but for Americans in general, they are known to be shallow breathers because we don't think about the way that we breathe. We don't slow things down enough to keep ourselves. As a matter of fact, when I said that, guys, it actually made me stop and take a deep breath. I didn't even realize that I had a little bit of something tension in me. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I caught that. Oh my goodness. Right. And so, because I've never done a show like this one before, right? I have my husband sitting here next to me. Usually I'm on a Zoom call with people. So this is like different. Right. So this kind of a little anxiety in there, right? But and so it's just really important to recognize how important it is to take that slow, deep breath, how to kind of catch And what I usually say, especially to younger people, is and older people as well, but try to like actually grab a hold of, like if you can mentally picture it, grab a hold of that upset energy, right? And kind of breathe it up like you're kind of sucking it up. And then you're exhaling it out, right? So you're breathing up and out all of the negative energy that has tried to insert itself into you.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
Also, there'll be times where I feel like maybe there's some stress in, like, especially the shoulder and the neck area too. Same thing, same technique. I'm trying to mentally really, really think about that and just saying, okay, relax, relax it out, right? What I'm trying to do is take that deep breath, really oxygenate myself and my blood to hopefully start releasing some of that tension and some of that, whether it's stress, it's muscle tightness, may have been caused by bad posture. And I have to really think about my posture as well,
Yeah.
too, right? I learned that years ago. We learned that I had horrible posture. I
Well,
was
I'll talk to you
slouching
about
all the
that.
time.
He's
Yes.
really tall. Yeah, he's like 6'5.5".
Yeah.
And so his slouch is a huge slouch.
Yeah. And I would like shrink myself physically at the table. And then, you're playing 6, 8, 10 hour days, and it really takes a toll on your body. So trying to remain in a good posture state. And if I feel it in the shoulders, really think about that as I'm taking my deep breaths. And that's every single hand. Pre-flop, on the flop, turn, river, trying to give the same exact visual to any opponent I'm playing at any time, so that there's no ticks, or excuse me, not ticks, no tells that can pick up.
Yes. And that's actually a proactive approach. So yes, you're using it in those tough moments. You're kind of, you know, breathing it out. But throughout the entire time, and for those of you out there who are poker players, it is like there's a lot of pressure in the game, or there can be, right? Some people are robots, so maybe they don't feel it as much. But for those who are non-robots like me,
That are feelers,
right, that feel things strongly, strongy motors.
Yeah.
It is so important to manage what is happening with you internally the entire time. If you stay ahead of it, if you stay ahead of that tension, ahead of that, again, that shallow breathing, ahead of all that stuff, then when you get to that tough moment, then you have already been slowly releasing all of the negative energy the entire time. So it's not like you'll blow your cap, right? Like it's kind of, you think about those engines that combust. If there were no like that thing to kind of flip up, let the smoke out, right? Then bad things happen, right? Oh yeah, I went real old school, but I don't know any other machines, so if you have a better example, we'll throw it out there. But anyway, that's such a good tip. He actually gave, and we talk about things. Yes, I would talk to him about things from a therapy point of view, right? I would explain these things, but I was not applying these things to the poker table at first. Right. So when I was telling him about my struggles at the poker table, where I was dang near feeling like panic attack mode when I was sitting down at the table, I'm like, I'm super excited. And at first, and then as soon as I get to the table, it's like pure panic. Like I feel like I can't breathe. Yes. Like if I breathe, people will be able to they'll be able to tell how nervous I am based on right. And he was like, babe, did you ever stop to think about the fact that first of all, excitement and nervousness, or excitement and anxiety feel the same in the body? And I was like, no, I never thought about it. And I was like, yeah, it makes all the sense in the world, right? And he said, so, why don't you just kind of do what you teach, which is to slow down, take those deep breaths, right? And then also kind of bring into perspective too, what's really going on. Is it anxiety or is it excitement? Is it your mind reading the excitement in the wrong way? Right. And so, oh my goodness, that like changed everything. Yes. Anyway, okay, guys, we could probably talk about stuff all day long, but you guys are going to sit with us to listen to it all anyway. So
remember your breathing.
Yes.
Deep breath, release. If you feel the tension, try and breathe it out. If you feel the stress in your shoulders, mentally think and try and lock into that and just breathe it out.
Release it, yes. And so, okay, so I was gonna ask you, okay, so what was your golden nugget for the day? You already gave it, so because we're really simpatico, you guys. Like seriously, we finish each other's sentences. It's insane. It's like he reads my mind. I thought he was a warlock when we first met. I was like, he did some kind of man witch, because why is he in my head? Man witch. Anyway, no, it's not the same. No, anyway. Anyway, okay, guys. So I hope that you were able to gather some benefit from this today. I know I was given a couple of reminders myself. That's why I love to do this. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for joining us. And don't forget to like, share, and leave comments,
That's right.
guys. We want your comments. I'll answer you. All right. I'll see you next time. Have a great one.
Bye, guys.
Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And if you're interested in learning more about playing the hand you're dealt in this mental game of life, you'll love my book, Poker, A Woman's Game. To download your free chapter today, click on the link in our show notes or visit LafayaWayPoker.com. See you soon.